What?
Fuck you, Sehkie.
Fuck you, NikNak. You put this in the hat.
This is getting really aggressive.
Beware the consequences of your own actions.
Okay, it's one thing for Vorn to try to strangle me to the death. It's another thing for you to cut off my try harder, everyone, okay? Okay? You just don't do that.
Well, you didn't try hard enough. Ow.
You deserve that.
Did you actually hit
My
her?
wrist.
No.
No.
She hit herself.
I'm like sitting on an ottoman in like a sumo pose, and I slapped my thigh, and it hurt my wrist. Ow.
Well, welcome back.
Are we going to start
everybody.
sumoing? Because I'm on board for this.
Sure.
Sweet.
Please,
I'd rather
please
not.
let
I'd rather
me watch
not.
NikNak
Please.
versus Vorn. Please.
The twig
I feel like
versus
I have an advantage there, but if I lose, I am not
the
gonna be
twig.
I don't know.
The
I
twig
think
versus the
sheer
behemoth.
anger. The sheer level of anger right now in this room.
Oh, I won't play fair. I'll play very dirty.
So I hope everyone realizes I love this show about as much as Fate Zero. And so when they're looking at me, I have a lot more to say, but I feel like I'm under threat of death. So that's why I'm a little bit more on edge.
All right, so we're moving into characters this episode, which means we get to start with Waifu Wars. Waifu Wars. Waifu Wars. Let's start with Vorn.
Abstain.
Okay, that's
That's
fair.
fair. 100% fair.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go next. No one's speaking up. My waifu is the teacher, because there's like a fucking subplot in the background.
Oh,
about
thank you. Thank you. I was going to say the same thing. That teacher
I love the one
is
about
sassy and I
menopause
love
and like
her.
ovulating.
Like there is a trashy romance anime.
Like if
somewhere
you
in
count
that
backwards
Oh.
from menopause, women of 30 are still fully able to bear children and get married. Keep that in your questionable
Just
mind.
the first time you meet her, she's like, I made that man eggs and he did not appreciate it. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I love that. Like, it's just all presented as a lesson to this class.
She's so aggressive. And it always pans to the students and they're like, oh God, not again.
And there's like actual character dynamics going because she's friends with Madoka's mother.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Realm, do you have a waifu?
Mine's Homura, but just because like her backstory, like that's too spicy for me. That's too good for me.
She does have a really fleshed out backstory.
Yeah.
Bocage.
I'm
Do you
gonna
have
say
waifus?
like I'm kind of torn in the middle that if I have to pick a waifu, I'm definitely picking the teacher because I got a soft spot for sassy girls. Yeah, I do. I'm sorry, I can't help myself. Don't judge me.
I mean, hey, I'm not judging. I'm
Thank
hanging.
you.
Yes.
But
I'm-
Homura is the best character. She's best girl.
Yeah.
I am gonna get hate for this. Like I'm
Uh-oh.
already getting a death glare because oh God, no, don't throw another notebook at me.
Jesus Christ, you guys!
But my waifu is Kyubey.
Oh dear.
Really?
So the magical entity is
Don't
your
throw your drink at
waifu.
me. Oh, okay.
I was like actual fear from Sehkie to Vorn. What the hell?
I was afraid. Sorry. Kyubey is my waifu. Mostly because I don't necessarily. So out of all the magical girls, the only one that I would have chosen as a waifu would have been Sakura. But I personally think they fucked up her character. It is the only character in the show I think got a little messed up.
I guess that's probably the most spicy topic we have here. So why don't we go into that? Like, what did they do to mess her up here?
So I'm kind of mad about her character because she comes in as basically like a villain, right? Like anti-hero, villain, whatever you want to call it. She's trying to kill Sehkie. And I don't mind that. And I think she's kind of awesome. I love that she fights with the spear. I love her outfit. You know, she's the only one in the show that I'm kind of like, you know, I like the way she is. And I liked that whole backstory bit of, you know, I was talking about last episode, like the apples, the not wasting food, her father, the preacher, using her wish for someone else and then it backfiring, you know, doing what she has to do because she doesn't owe anyone anything, her whole family dying. But I feel like they explain that backstory and then she makes like a 360-degree pivot on her character and goes from being like homicidal and nasty, or 180. Does that
There
make
you
more
go.
sense to you? 180.
Well,
I
I
was
think
exaggerating. And she goes to being like this kind of like peppy, more on board, smiling, nicer. And it feels like we didn't get enough time for her to develop these kind of like more pleasant emotional notes.
I've got a few comments on that actually. So I'm not saying you're entirely wrong here. I see where you're coming from here. Trust me, I do. But I think what happened in the story there is when she started doing it, that's when she found out like
The zombie thing.
the zombie thing. Like everyone were zombies with like souls and bottles, basically.
Yeah, but she was like, I don't know. It just hit her
And then
weird, and I
after
think
that-
they could have written it a little
I
better.
never quite got peppy from her as much as I got her trying to validate her own decision to do this.
Yeah, but she just kind of flipped in like a lot of the way she was acting. You
See,
know?
I get what you mean. Is that, yeah, I understand like her character change was supposed to be the realization that all of them have, that the whole is like, yeah, your soul is not in your body. Your soul is literally in this gem, and your body is a husk now. Is what's supposed to. It was the thing that turns her from being, this just kind of jerk character, like out for herself, into this like, well, no, maybe we need to solve this and get this ball
I
rolling
think
kind of
what
thing.
would
But
have helped is if they made this a 13-episode anime to give that little bit of
She
character.
needed one more episode, like real dedicated
Yeah.
to her, I think.
or
Yeah,
even if they had just kept her like, yeah, I'm on board, but she still had that kind of pessimistic attitude.
yeah.
Yeah, she was a little too positive.
And I'm not gonna say what it is because I don't remember what the source of this is, but there is a little bit more backstory to her that I don't think we got in the anime for whatever reason, and I don't remember where it actually comes from. That goes into a little bit more of what she was, the magical girl, before her cult father found out about
well,
it all.
and that's perfectly fine. I'm sure it would help her story a little bit, but
And that's
it's
kind
the
of thing that
same
would
thing
have
as
benefited
it's
from being
because
put into the
the-
anime.
of
That's what
her,
I'm
like,
saying.
such-
It helped.
yeah, like
It's because
just
of her
didn't get conveyed.
Well, I'm not saying you're wrong because I'm saying it would have been nice if they had included that in the main series
Yeah,
as an episode. It would have really helped her character a lot.
And it
Well,
also would have helped basically if they had like fleshed out the reason for her sudden just drastic change in personality, because it was just a little
Yeah.
it was just a little jarring.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, and that's speaking as like, I mean, obviously I only in the last couple of nights have finished watching. So
Mhm.
I've kind of, I didn't really have a break between watching. So, it just kind of, it was like a snap flip for me, and it didn't ever open up.
No, I 100% get that. It
Yeah.
is a bit of a quick flip. They definitely do, because that entire arc, it's a lot like Madoka is a hard anime to pin down who the main character is because it kind of shifts. Early on, it's Madoka, and then after Mommy's death, it becomes Sayaka, and then it's basically Homura during the last couple episodes.
Can I say how annoyed I am that like 90% of the anime is just Madoka fucking waffling? Like, make a goddamn decision.
Well, you see, that's the thing, is that there are moments where she wants to make a decision, and then others come in to stop that decision from happening. They make her change her mind.
It's
Well-
like the ultimate cock block.
It's like she wants
Yeah.
to make the decision, and then she watched the person encouraging her to make the decision get decapitated.
And then
Then she wants to make a decision. Then she finds out that decision would lead to her to becoming a soulless zombie.
oh god, it was like the biggest cock block again and again and again. And like, I have to say, honestly, I like low-key, the only thing I was really looking forward to in this whole anime were like magical girl costumes, and I was sorely disappointed. And I thought that like maybe her being a main-ish character, I'd get like a cute magical girl costume. No, fuck no, I didn't get one till the 12th episode, and even then it wasn't good. I
Okay,
have opinions.
correct me if I'm wrong. Are we still missing one waifu?
I don't think so.
I think we all got away. Vorn didn't. Vorn
Vorn
abstained.
elected not to choose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which he sometimes does that. Sometimes he tries to claim all of the girls in a show, but that's not allowed because that's greedy.
We let him get away with it once.
Okay,
never
'cause-
again.
I just want to clarify, because all I heard was that we got 2 for the teacher, 1 for Cube, and I couldn't remember what the 4th one was. And we had one abstain,
Homura.
obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one
Homura,
Homura.
right, sorry. I fall behind.
I mean, that's
a
a
lot of things
fair
to do.
split. Yeah, that's a fair split. It'd be interesting if we were taking any of these specific waifus into an actual waifu war video, like our first one, against some of the other waifus we've
We
had.
need to bring that back eventually.
Oh, I full on want to argue Cube against like an actual waifu.
Oh, God.
That would be hilarious. I took Kuklane to the semifinals in our first waifu wars.
Wow.
I rode that spear boy all the way through.
She really-
Yeah.
Yeah, I
His
bet you
gay
did.
bulge. Oh, I had to bring that joke back.
His gay bulge.
Yeah.
His gay bulge.
Are you talking like JoJo Bulge or
Oh no, that's the name of his.
That's the
big
name of his spear.
are you're
Guy
The
Bulge.
gay
what?
bulge.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The gay bulge. Look it up.
I thought you were
Yeah.
making
not
a
lying.
Okay,
We're
I am
not lying.
No.
I
We're
am making
literally-
this. I am
No,
looking
that's
this up right
that's
now.
the actual historical name of the spear that Kuklane wielded. One of them.
His gay bulk.
Yeah, the guy bulk. Like I had to look this up too. Um,
And this is Irish, so this is not like you're taking some foreign language and
yeah.
it just
Okay,
sounds
I want
funny
you-
translated. No, this
I
is-
want it to be known that I punched in Kuklane Gay Bulg into.
Oh, no.
Let me finish. Okay, I punched it into Google. The first result is the Gay Pride Direct.
Oh my god.
Lauren, you have any thoughts on Ku Klux Gay Bulg?
Oh, he's disturbed by my sound of dying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the way I laugh. But yeah, so that was a thing.
I'm so glad you guys invited me on.
It's great. It's
Um,
great.
we
do
have
we
fun
want to talk
here.
more about characters or?
Oh yeah, for sure. Because we've only really talked about one character so far.
We talked about Homura. We talked about the teacher.
Well, we didn't talk
Kyubey.
about Homura a ton.
True.
Yeah.
But I mean, also, Homura.
With how fleshed out her character was, do we really need to explain it all that much?
Yeah, it's not as if they left anything like to chance.
Well, I
Yeah.
think one thing that I want to bring up about Homura is that obviously they really make you sympathize with her and empathize with her when you go through her backstory.
Mhm.
But there was one moment in her backstory that it literally like gut wrenched me, which is when they're at the very end and she shoots
Oh.
Madoka so she doesn't turn into a
Oh,
witch.
that
That like,
hurt me.
oh god, that was
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah. Oh, just any of the endings they showed. I mean, the one where Madoka literally begs her to go back and make sure she doesn't make this decision, like no matter
Mm.
what. Oof.
Well, that was the same one, I think.
I might have been,
Where
but
she begs
also
her
like that kind of pressure on someone, like hundreds of times again. Oh, that was a big Doctor Strange moment, is what that was.
Hmm.
Doctor Strange facing Dormammu.
Oh yeah, no, it's
That was
Oh
a
yeah, I've come to
big-
bargain.
Yeah, that's basically what this whole ass thing was. I love it.
Pretty much, yeah. It's I use the analogy that it's basically she's
Guys?
stuck in Groundhog's Day, her own
We have a
Groundhog's
rare
Day
moment
movie.
here.
Yeah.
We have a rare moment here. Vorn wants to say something about this.
When Homura was first stealing that gun, was she stealing it from the Yakuza or from the police?
The
I thought it
Yakuza.
was her father.
No, it's the Yakuza.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
I think she stole it for like she started stealing from the Yakuza, and I think at the end she was stealing from like the military.
Yeah.
Good for her, honestly.
Best magical girl powers.
Well, not only
no,
that, she
best-
also learned how to make bombs. So you remember that
Yeah.
scene?
No, best magical girl was when Sayuki brought a baseball bat and mommy turned it into a kawaii club. Like
Oh,
a
God.
kawaii club. 10 out of 10. Will recreate that weapon.
Yes.
Okay.
I look forward
feel
to
like we-
seeing it.
Speaking of Sayaka, I sent a meme to the anime club earlier. Realm, did you see it?
I
Yeah, you
think
saw it. You replied to it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Sayaka was really interesting because Sayaka has that whole, like, she goes actually insane.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of the characters are messed up, but
It's just progressively
actually goes
like
off the
it's
deep
just progressively watching her spiral into despair. Literally.
Yeah, like that's what like 90% of this is
Yeah.
like her descent into literal insanity.
Like I said, she's the main character for most of this show because
Yeah.
you're the one who like she's the one
Yeah.
who's seeing the fucked up stuff.
Yeah, I mentioned it before, the fight scene where she just gives up trying to avoid and she's like, I can't feel it. I can't feel the pain. This is amazing.
It's like,
Yeah.
and it's back to that animation, that fight scene. It's just that it perfectly embodies that disembodied like experience that she's
Yeah.
having. Like where she sort of dropped all pretense of
She
identity.
does that creepy lolly insane thing where like their eyes just go dead and they tilt their head to the side with like wide open eyes and like laugh.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a moment.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that really kind of stood out to me about Sehkie is, obviously she uses her wish to heal the boy she's got a crush on, and then the dude just basically ghosts her. And then her best friend comes up and says, hey, I'm going to go bang that dude because you're not making a move. And it's like, wow, you have really shitty friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you could have done so much better.
Yeah, and then, I mean, I understand why she starts being really mean to Madoka, but I mean, like, that's literally the one person who's, like, genuinely wants to help her. And, like, the other ones, it kind of implies the only reason they're helping her is because they don't want her to turn into a witch, but Madoka actually cares, and Seika's just, get away from me, you harlot.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, man. The characters are fantastically well developed. Like, 10 out of 10. You could do an amazing character study on any of these one people. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Kyubei's lack of empathy, Sayuki's, I mean, I think inability to feel pain is, I think, one of the signs of, like, psychopathy or sociopathy.
Sociopath.
Yeah, sociopath. That's like a common
sociopathy
thing.
is it not being able to empathize or identify pain.
Yeah, Madoka's inability to make a decision, without going back because of other things. Like she makes the decision, but then she goes back on it a few times because of other events.
I think Kyubei's entire thing is he targets the most like emotionally unstable people he can find.
Yeah, mommy's desperation to like be doing this for good,
Yeah, and there's an implied loneliness to mommy too, if I remember right.
Yeah, because Homer outright says it. She says nobody will notice she's missing for weeks, months even, and when they do, she'll just be permanently missing because her body will never be found. Nobody's looking out for her. Nobody's looking for her. She doesn't have any family.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that really stood up about Kyoko to me, the thing that stood it out. Sorry, I'm tripping over my own words here. What really stood out to me about Kyoko is the fact that her character isn't just like, oh, I'm a jerk or I don't care. It's that her whole character seems to be, I will do whatever I have to survive.
Yeah, pretty much. And every character's different. There's no two characters that run down the same line, which is wonderful because often you get characters that come too close together, Honestly, I will say the thing that surprised me most about this entire show was that Madoka is not the main focus of every episode and arc.
That's probably the biggest like subversion of expectations is she's just not the main character.
Yeah.
Like, yes, the show sort of revolves around her, but she's probably gets the least amount of focus of any of the other characters.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, and I didn't hate it either because Madoka is not my favorite character, I mean, aside from her waffling, which is, due to other people's involvement and her own decision making. I just don't super love her as a character because she plays out this whole time like she just sits there and she's like, I'm not good at school. I'm not good at sports. And she says that like 4 separate times during the show.
She has no sense of confidence. That's kind of her character.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I know that makes me kind of sound like a mean person, but like those characters are kind of like really annoying to me sometimes. And I guess it's because from an outsider's perspective, you can see when a character has merit. And the point is that you're supposed to see them as like self-depreciating.
Self-deprecating.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just annoying when it's like so repetitive. Like we heard this literal same phrase like 4 times. Sometimes to the same person twice. I think she said it to Kyubei twice.
I don't remember her talking to Kyubei too much, so.
Yeah.
can
Well,
tell you,
I
but-
think one of the things that was really fascinating about Madoka's character arc is that actually, if you really think about it, Madoka isn't important until the end, because what makes her important is Hamura. Hamura's like constant fucking with the timeline makes Madoka the most important person in the galaxy. And that's the only reason Kyubey is so determined to get her to sign a contract with him. Because when you first see Madoka, she's like when you at the start of Hamura's backstory, Madoka's actually just pretty normal. Like it kind of makes it look like mommy is stronger than she is.
Yeah.
And by the end, she's like godlike because Hamura just keeps screwing with it because Madoka's not really that important, but she's important to Hamura, and that's why she keeps getting stronger.
Who
Yeah.
is more or less the main like overarching character.
And the time-space continuum paradox, like the whole travel back in time, you actually affect, more than you think. The butterfly effect, that's what it's called. Like Jesus.
By the way, my favorite part with Madoka is the scene where she's sitting on the park bench and she's about to make a contract with Kyubey, and then he just explodes.
He just fucking
The gunshot.
Homura just pops a cap in Kyubey.
I don't know. My favorite part of that is when he eats his own body.
Yeah.
Oh
later.
yeah,
He just cannibalizes
because he's like a
himself.
hive mind thing, isn't he?
Yeah, something like that. And he
Well,
like
I-
mentions
Hive mind,
that-
but he mentions that he has spares of his the container. That
Yeah.
He's in.
No sense of stealth.
Yeah. Like I don't think he's a hive mind, but I think that he's like maybe a collective entity that has a container.
it's probably
Also, the fact that
he's
his face doesn't move is creepy.
the best way to describe it is that he's like an omnipresent entity almost, because it seems like wherever there's a magical girl, Kyubey is present.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think we should be wrapping this up here and move into our final bot. So try harder, everyone.
Wow, really made sure to get it in there, didn't you?
Yes, I did.